Hi Scorpio, it's Lynn from Tinker Tarot, or Cleo. I'm dressed as Cleopatra today to celebrate Halloween, of course. Cleopatra is one of my icons because she was a pioneering woman. She was the last pharaoh of Egypt. She could speak 9 languages because she wanted to know what people were saying around her. And where she lived, there was a lot of language and dialects. She ruled to her death at 39, I think she was, when she died. But anyway, she built a lot of libraries and theaters. Women in that time in Egypt were allowed to be educated. So she really promoted that and was believed very highly in women having knowledge and power. Anyway, that's why I'm dressed up like Cleopatra. That's why I love her. I want to say thank you to all of you for your love and support, your likes, shares, subscribes, everything that you do for me. And I really appreciate it, especially this past couple of weeks. So, Scorpio, what are the messages for Scorpio? October 2018. Scorpio. I think they're ready, actually. Just like that. I'm using the Gilded Tarot. The Gilded Tarot this month. I'm doing a 9-card spread with a card from the Good Tarot. So, your first card in your past is the Devil. And the Devil speaks of addiction, usually based on shame of some kind from our past. Sometimes it's not even our shame that we're dealing with. But sometimes there's someone around you or you yourself are suffering from addictions. And I kind of ask, who isn't in this world? Someone's taking pills, eating what they shouldn't, exercising too much. You know, it's about overindulgence in things that don't serve us, things that don't serve our greater good. And like I said, usually it's based on some sort of shame. So it's a way to cope with things that we've been through, struggles that we're going through at the time sometimes. So this is in your past energy. Next you have the King of Swords. The King of Swords is sometimes an air sign, Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. And he's very mentally based. You know, he makes decisions by how he thinks about them. He's strategic. He's like a chess player. He can think 5 moves ahead. Very smart. But also is based on truth and fairness in his best instances. Negatively, his truth can cut, they can hurt, because he could be tactless, you know. And his sword is down, and he's kind of looking off, distracted here, and maybe not that careful of where he's pointing his truths, you know, where he's laying his sword down. So this could be someone around you. This could be the person in your life with the addiction issue, you know, or maybe it's time to become the King of Swords and sort of say your truths. They might hurt, but they need to be said all the same. Sometimes we all have to be the King of Swords at some time. You know, things have to be said sometimes. They can't linger. You can't have these white elephants of these issues that aren't being talked about, because when you bring them out in the open, it's when you can start finding solutions, you know, and that's where the King of Swords is integral. He promotes solutions because he brings these things out into the open, or she. Your next card is the Four of Swords. This is quiet contemplation. You're retreating to rethink things. You know, it looks like these swords are all pointing down at this guy's heart. And it may hurt, you know, some of the decisions you have to make, or some of the moves you have to make, or your choices that are in front of you. But he has his hand down on this sword. And this is his truth. This is what he knows as truth, regardless of what all these other things are. So he's protected with armor while he's resting and contemplating his next move. Okay? I think you're contemplating your next move based on some information that maybe an air sign told you, a truth. Maybe it's something you didn't want to hear. Maybe you're the one saying something that someone didn't hear, and now you have to you know, get your bearings again and think about, okay, how am I going to move forward now with this, with what I know, and with what my options actually are, you know. It's the truth about your options, too. Facing the truth about your options. We can all dream of all kinds of things. And dreaming is good. It brings that energy toward us. But realistically, this is more realistic. You know, it's very realistic. What are my realistic options here? Excuse me. The Moon is the first card in your present. So, confusion, you know. There are two wolves, dogs, barking at the moon. Sometimes the moon is Cancer. You see that crab down there at the bottom. But this is kind of a time machine. Okay? And you can take yourself out of this confusion at any time. You can stay there, but you can walk through this portal, and because you're in your head so much, you know, you're really in your head, and it's in some ways it's helpful, and in some ways it isn't. It brings you back to this devil approach to things, coping, you know, and you need clarity. You need to move yourself out of your head and be realistic. You know, you need to look at what's tangible, what's really there. There's all kinds of ideas what might be happening, all kinds of assumptions we can be making, but it's not necessarily real. Okay? Geez, you're going through a hard time, Scorpio. So the Nine of Swords. You're about to make a decision. You're about to make a change. This is the end of your torment. You are being tormented. There's truths and information and gossip and messages coming from all over. And it's hurting you. She's protecting her heart there. You see her protecting her heart? But you're making a decision right now. And it's a wise decision that needs to be made so that you can let this go. You need to let it go. Get out of your head. It's following you into your sleep even, disrupting your sleep. And you know, this is a wise decision for you, what you need, what's going to serve you, where you want to go. No matter what people are saying, you got to think about, you know, what's right for me. And sometimes we have to make a decision or a choice that hurts. It hurts to do it, but it still must be done all the same. It's for your greater good. The Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is perseverance, hard work, and starting to see a glimmer of something coming back to show the results. Okay, you're starting to see some results, and it's a nudge forward to move forward and work on this still. You know, you're going to focus on work more. You're going to invest yourself a little into this idea, this project, and this is about investing, you know, not just financially, but physically, mentally, all of yourself. You know, you've got an idea which is worth your energy, which is worth, what's that word? It's worth your time and energy, basically. You know, and so here you're contemplating about what your next move is, what your realistic choices are, and here you're taking a step, you're making a move, okay? Because threes are about action, moving forward, okay? Next card, the first card in your future is the Five of Pentacles. This is like, it's like feeling left out in the cold, not being considered. You don't feel considered, and you don't feel supported. But there's still hope. You know, you see all that light coming through the stained glass window where the pentacles are, and that is a glimmer of hope. You still haven't given up, even though you feel deserted. I guess you feel deserted, you know. And you may even feel sorry for yourself for a little while. But you will pick yourself back up, you know. This is temporary. Sometimes this happens in life, and it may have something to do with this choice, this decision that you've made that hurts, you know. Maybe that's why you've made it, because you feel left out in the cold. You feel deserted, abandoned, not considered. The Lovers. Another choice, and it's funny, it's right under the Nine of Swords, that decision you're going to make that's going to hurt, but it's going to help finish it once and for all now, and this is the result of that. This guy holds her above all others, and it's very sexual, passionate, but can it withstand all the other things that are involved in relationship? You know, the dolphins are jumping in the background. Dolphins are also a sign of communication. They're probably, and they have the biggest brains of all creatures. The most use of their brains, I guess. You know, he has a hold of her wrist there, and in some ways it's support, and just other ways it's restraint. You know, it's control. It's, because he's a great knight, you know, and so someone may be pursuing you. Someone may offer love. Someone has chosen you, or you them, as their one they hold above all others. And I think it has something to do with this choice to end your heartache, end your pain, end your torment. And when you did this, it inaugurated this, the lovers, and the choice. You've chosen, they've chosen, you both, you know. And it's in the water, too, you know. They're surrounded by water, which is emotions. So it's not just passion, it's emotion. This is communication, emotions. It's physical, and it's also spiritual, because you see all these stars and light coming down from the sky, from the heavens. Your last card in your future is the Eight of Cups. So the Eight of Cups, you know, you can see 1, 2, 3. There's 3 cups spilled here. So something's wrong. Something's gone wrong. It could be a trust situation. It could be communication, but there's confusion. The thing that you have to recognize is there's still 5 cups standing. This is a strong relationship. You've already done a lot of work on this relationship, and it looks like it's worth salvaging. But someone has their back turned on it. Someone has their back turned. So they're not sure if they want to put any more work into it. They're ready to walk away. So this is you or this other person, you know, who you feel all these things for. There's something wrong. And the confusion, you know, there's a little, it's like a little platypus or something, with his nose to the ground. And, you know, when you have your nose to the ground, you're not being observant. You're not taking everything in. You're burying your head. You know, you're not able to see everything when you have your nose to the ground. So maybe it's time to look up. Look at the other person's perspective, too. You know, it's their feelings, their perspective as well, not just your own. And we only find that out when we ask questions. Sometimes you do need to walk away, though, because you've done all you can do. You've given all you can give. And nothing's changing, nothing's evolving, nothing's growing. And no relationship, a full, happy, healthy relationship has 10 cups. And you have only 5 standing up here. So there's still work to be done. There's work to be done before you reach that contentment, the trust, the love out of growing and knowing each other and accepting each other too, you know. So anyway, I would like to pull a card from the book Tarot for you, Scorpio. What are the messages for Scorpio October 2018? What are the messages for Scorpio? Jeez, just slippery, slidey all over the place. You're just about ready. Just about ready. That's it. They're ready. Just waiting for that little indication of when. When to stop. When. Nice card. So, I think big part of this reading is about a relationship, to tell you the truth. Because, you know, there could be addictions involved here. And then someone says the truth, you know, speaks the truth, and it might cut, you know, where you find yourself to what's that word when you gather up and you see all your things again, but you know what I mean. Regroup, that's it. Time to regroup. You're confused, though, and feel not included. You're not feeling included in this relationship. There's something that's hurting your feelings. You know, it's hurting you. It's tormenting you. More confusion. There's the moon. And with each phase of the moon, it's not really clearing up. And you're thinking, you know, do I want to invest? I'm showing early results of the potential. This is the potential, right, of what this could be in this relationship, but you're still feeling left out. There's something wrong here. It has the potential to be a beautiful, great union, the couple that has everything. But there's something missing, and yet more confusion. You've gone through a full phase of the moon, full cycle, and still feel confused, and you're thinking, I don't know if I want to invest any more in this. I don't know if I can get those other 5 cups in this, even though I love them so much. I love them so much. They're everything. We could be everything together. But you have the 2 of fire. So this is the choice, you know. This is the choice. Do I want to go forward? I have this huge light, and I could go forward. But, you know, here I'm at this, the edge, and it's getting more challenging and more complicated. And we're not exactly the 2 best creatures together to go out on this challenge and accept this. Or there's this little light on the back. You could turn back and stay with the status quo, how it presently is. To move forward onto something new is more challenging. It's more work. And she's kind of, you know, she's sitting there with her knee up. You see that? She's sitting here with her knee up. The giraffe can see quite far ahead and knows what some of the things that they're going to encounter on this challenge. And you only need the small light in the back because you already know where you've been. And she's sitting there with her knee up, you know, thinking about these 2 choices. Do I want to? Am I ready? You know, really considering. And the giraffe is kind of looking down on her, saying, "Well, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to do this? Oh my God, are we going to do this?" And you know you can. You can. You can do it. But do you want to? Is it worth the risk to you? That's what you have to decide. So, thanks, Scorpio. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. From October 15th to the 31st, I'm doing all readings for $25. The information is in the description box below. And I guess that's it. I'll see you next month. Bye now.